Shalom, shalom to Brother Kadash.
Shalom to Brother Kunal.
I want to start off by giving our praises to
Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Wakakadash.
We're going to jump straight into it. We finishing off where we left off at in the middle of the chapter. I think we finished off at verse 35. So this been like a little journey just breaking down the book of Deuteronomy, how important it is. That's the one that the Spirit led us to choose. And we just been breaking it down chapter by chapter, you know, because there's a lot of insight in there. You know, a lot of times you come in the truth and people just tell you, are you in the truth now? You got to follow us. Go out the bed, you got to do this, do that. But they ain't telling you exactly what it is you got to do. They don't even know the law. A lot of people come into the truth just to be in camps, just to be in groups, you know, just to be known as a good brother amongst their peers or whatever, or just to be in some type of ranking system. But they don't never really learn the law. They don't know what to do when certain things happen. So that's why we've been going through the book of Deuteronomy, so you can know what to do when certain things happen. So some of the highlights was, you know, if you make a promise with the Lord, you got to live up to your end of the stick too. Not just the Lord deliver it to you, but you got to end up to your stick. If you don't, then you're gonna be cursed. You're gonna be punished for not living up to your end of the stick. So when you're praying on the Lord, man, just help me get out of this situation, and I promise this time will be better. You got to be better, because if you don't, then you're gonna get cursed for it. You know, that's just one of the highlights, you know, of us breaking down the laws, because that's pretty much what sums it up. That's a I forgot the name of it, but that's a McLaren right there, a black McLaren. That's on there. I want something like that.
Yeah, and you know, just to touch on what the brother say, it tells you about that in the book of Deuteronomy we read.
That's what the curses is all about.
Yeah, I want to say it's in the earlier chapters. I'm not for sure, 20-something. But yeah. This shit had to rev up before it took off. Yeah, and the law is what's all. The law is the main thing that's required for salvation. So that's why you gotta be real serious about when it comes down to the law and learning the law, because you could just be doing something that you've been doing on an everyday, day-to-day basis and not knowing that you're sinning.
But they don't understand that. They gonna say that you saying the law, you gotta follow the law to be saved.
Right.
They don't understand, because they'll go to precepts in the New Testament where it says the faith, but you don't understand. Get that what's that, James chapter 2, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
Faith without works is dead. So I'm just trying to clean up what the brother said, because that's what they gonna say. No, it said that you could be saved with faith. Okay, well, faith means that you believe, and then what do it say? If you believe in me, keep my law, statutes, and commandments. We're gonna get a couple of precepts on me for now. Because you know, I just don't want them to take your word and then.
No, I get because I was gonna clean it up too, because I was just reading that they was or I was watching a video, and they was just saying well, it was a question being asked, and it was what do you just roughly paraphrasing, it was kind of something what does it mean when a person say that you can be saved by the law alone, right? And a lot of people just think just doing they forget about the faith part, just like the brother was trying to explain. If you doing the law, it's because you have faith that you're gonna be saved for doing what the Lord told you to do. See, because people try to make faith the same thing as doing the law. They forget faith and belief. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make them the same. I mean, they is kind of the same thing, but more on the spiritual and the physical level. Like faith.
They trying to separate them, but they really go together.
Yeah.
It is kind of the same thing, because if you got faith, well, you have to show that with action. Just like the word love. The Lord uses that as an action, not just saying, I love you, but I'm doing everything to show that I hate you. Because anybody can say anything out their mouth. It's about your actions and what you do. So yes, you can say you got faith, and that's what the Christians do. They take the word faith as we use the word love today. And they say, I have faith, but that's what's coming out their mouth, but that's not what their actions are showing. So then if we're talking about actions, your actions have to show and back up your faith and your love. then what are those actions? And we would say that those actions are following the law, statutes, commandments. No difference if you got a father at home with sons, right? If his sons say, we respect you, Dad, but they doing everything that you asked them not to do, that's not respect. But if you lay out commandments and tell them do this, and do this, and they actually follow it and do it, then they proving that they do respect what you tell them to do by their actions. So faith and works go hand in hand. You got to read something more? I got one. Yeah, John 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. So you will say you love the Lord, especially wacky, tacky Christians, but they don't keep his law, statutes, and commandments. And then they say that, okay, he made up new commandments, so you ain't got to keep the commandments of Moses no more, which the commandments of Moses is really the commandments of God, because God gave them to the children of Israel, and he did that through Moses, but it's really God's commandments. It's really the Father's commandments. And watch what Yahawashi says right here. Watch what Yahawashi says right here to show you that his commandments is no different than the Lord, than his Father's commandments, which is no different than the commandments that he gave to Moses, even though y'all try to separate them and make it something different to excuse yourself. This is John 15, verse 10. If ye keep my commandments, right? If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love. But watch this. Even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love, showing that Yahawashi commandments is no different than his father Yahawah's commandments. It's the same commandments.
Exactly.
Which is the same commandments that the father Yahawah gave to Moses, to the children of Israel.
Bro, that's crazy, because this is what I was gonna say, because now this how they try to say that it's different. Because they try to say that it's different because they say when Christ came, Christ done away with the law. But when you ask a Christian, okay, so what is the new covenant? What is the new covenant? Right? And a lot of times they can't answer it, but if you know the answer to what the new covenant is, there is no new law. The last law, like when you do the research on it, it was 3 different laws, right? There was the law that God gave Abraham, the law that he gave Noah, and the law that he gave Moses, right? Which is the Mosaic law. Now, the Mosaic law was the last law. So when Christ came and was doing his teachings, he was teaching the Mosaic law. So now the new covenant is not a new law. It's just the law being embedded into our hearts. So the Mosaic law is the last law. We still gonna be under the same law that Yahawashi was teaching. You know what I'm saying? It's the same law. It's
same
not
law that Moses did.
Yeah, exactly. It's still gonna be that law. It's the law of Moses.
Yeah.
Right? So
we call it that. I never really call it that because it's the law of Yahawah.
Yeah,
Yahawah gave
exactly.
it to him. But people like to call it that to kind of get out of it. But at the end of the day, Yahawashi was quoting from the Old Testament. Why do he need to quote from the Old Testament if this ain't got nothing to do with the Old Testament and Moses' law? Look, let me grab another precept for you. It's just that simple, bro. So do you ask them, okay, so what new laws did Yahawashi, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus, what new law did he make up?
Never.
And then they'll go to love God and then love your neighbor as you love thyself and say, look, those are old laws. That's from Moses' law. You know, so it's just, let me grab a precept and we can get started, man. If I can find it. Her ass got a demon on her talking. Let me find this precept. This is John 5, verse 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me, right? But if ye believe not his writings, so if you don't follow or believe Moses' writings, because if you say you believe in the Lord, then that should be synonymous with you follow the Lord, right? So if you don't believe or follow Moses' writings, it says, how shall ye believe my words? And that's straight from Yahawashi himself. He said, look, if you don't believe Moses' writings, how you gonna follow my words? Why is he saying that? He's saying that because Moses' words, writings, that's where he's quoting from and that's where he's teaching from. That's exactly what he's teaching because really it came from him to Moses.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So from Yahawah to Yahawashi down to Moses. I don't know, she had a demon on her. But that's the point, though. So he's saying, look, if you don't believe in Moses' writings, you don't follow Moses' writings, how you gonna believe mine? Because I'm teaching everything that was in Moses' writings. Because in reality, he gave those writings to Moses. He was there to give those commandments to Moses. But the commandments come from the Father Yahawah. But Yahawah ain't got to get off his throne in heaven to come down and do work on the earth. He sent his son. He set his son up for that. He gave his son the kingdom. So Yahawashi is the one that's ruling here on earth. His father rules everything, of course. But, you know, just like if your father owned a business, you own it too. You see what I'm saying? You running a company, your father put you in charge of the company. You running a company, your father own it because that's your father. Even if he put your name on it, his name ain't on it no more. He still run the company because that's your father. If you got respect for your father and what he built, your father could come back in.
You gonna recognize him as the authority figure.
As an authority figure over you, even though he gave you the business.
Right.
So I done seen many times where business be going bad because the son took it over. And the father, it's his business. He the owner. It was given to him by his father, but his father stepped back in and stepped back on the board and back in place. He'll be like, man, I got to come back to the business and step back in place. And the son will give it back to him. And business is going bad and they need him to get in there and work the shit the right way. So it still shows you, yeah, it's just like a wife. She could go buy a car to my wife all the time. You could go buy a fucking mansion. In your name with all your money, I still own it because I own you. You my possession. You see what I'm saying? So anything that's yours is mine. So it's the same thing with father and son. That's how it's supposed to be. So yeah, he gave the kingdom to Yahawashi. So Yahawashi is the one that you're going to see coming back on earth with that fire and brimstone, man. But the spirit of Yahawah is going to be there. But Yahawah's on the throne, man, in heaven. You're not going to see his face, man, until it's judgment. I'm spiritual.
I mean, he created Yahawashi.
Yep.
So how could you ever think he would be over Yahawah or that he replaces Yahawah?
Yep.
He was. I mean, it tells you in the Bible that Yahawah has no beginning or no end, but Yahawashi do. So somebody, I mean, so he got a starting point, and somebody gave him that starting point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me saying I don't have a father. Well, how did I get here?
Exactly. That's your starting point.
You know what I'm saying? That's my starting point. If I ain't had no father, how did I get here? You know what I mean? So Yahawashi definitely has somebody over him, and he only does what he is told.
He's getting the law, statutes, commandments from the Father. And that's the whole point of them being one together, is that he's not going to go off and do something outside of what the Father agenda is. So they got the same agenda, same commandments. He's a splitting image of his Father. That's how it works, man. But we just don't understand that in the human form.
Right.
We don't understand that because this is bigger. This is the spiritual. This is way more and higher than what we can ever understand. So don't try to understand the dynamic really between Yahawashi and Yahawah, because as a human, you're never going to be able to fully understand it. If you call it technology, use the word technology, that technology is billions of years ahead of us. We're not even at 4 yet to be able to acknowledge or understand. She almost just got hit. She got a demon on her. She's gonna get hit. She in the middle of the street with cars. See, so you're not gonna understand that, but that's the problem with people, is they always want to understand as if they the deepest, as if they know everything.
Right.
Just follow what the Lord said. That's it. Don't try to figure out the dynamic between Yahawashi and Yahawah. You can't fucking understand that being a human, man. We can't even make ourselves grow an inch. We can't even count how many hairs is on our head. We can't even count, and it tells you this in the book of Job, we can't even count how many stars is in the heavens. We can't even count how many clouds is in the heavens.
Yeah, it says that it's only one that can.
It's only one that can, so why is you trying to understand the Lord's brain, how the Lord works? If he has a brain, how does he work? You know what I mean? The dynamic between him and his son that he created and what they got going on. You trying to understand all that shit that don't even pertain to you, bro. We can't even fight Esau. We can't even conquer Esau ourselves. We can't even conquer Esau ourselves.
Yeah,
so how the fuck you trying to understand that? We can't even fucking conquer the white man. We can't take care of that business ourselves. Because for some reason, we can't even come together as one. You got this camp, you got the ABC camp, you got the XYZ camp, you got the GFD camp, you got the HID camp, you got all these damn camps, and we can't come together as one unified body of millions. We only can come together in groups of thousands. At the most, hundreds and thousands at the most. We can't even come together. You got 10 camps in one city, Chicago. You got 100 camps in one city, Chicago, and they all split up into little groups. And they can't come together as one people if we're all Hebrew Israelites. We can't fucking do that. We need the Lord to bring us back as the 12 tribes of Israel, like it says in Ezekiel 37. We need the Lord to do that, to bring us back as one people. We can't even do it ourselves. But you trying to understand the Lord dynamic between him and his father, and we can't even bring ourselves back together as one people.
People be forgetting about what the big goal is, what the bigger goal is.
We gotta stay in our place. We can't be getting out of our place, man. You got it.
Ready? This Deuteronomy 32 and 33. Wait, no. I said we stopped at 35. So this 36. For the Lord shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. And he shall say, where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings?
They were sacrificing to rocks, bro. Just like if you go to Saudi Arabia and y'all want to talk about being fucking Muslims, man. But when you go to Saudi Arabia, they circling around a rock. So if you gonna go over there and circle around that rock, get to the front and then kiss it? The Lord said, man, they worshiping fucking rocks, man. The Lord said, I got power, man. I could destroy the whole earth with one chariot if I wanted to. And they don't want to worship that. They want to worship rocks. Like you picking up a rock right here,
right,
and then you saying this rock came from the heavens, and they want to worship the rock, man. The Lord can't give us no technology, man. He can't. We all want power so bad, man. I'll just pray the Lord give me some power so we can whoop Esau's ass. The Lord ain't gonna give us no power because we gonna start worshiping it. If the Lord drop a chariot down right now, said just like on the movie Black Panther, right, the first one, they run the chariots back to the hood and start teaching the kids like, look, this is a chariot. Who out the bed? They get that from the Bible, right? So if the Lord bring a chariot down, brothers will start worshiping. They start getting down, bowing down to the chariot, worshiping the chariot. The Lord, like, I got 1 million of these, man. I got 1 billion of these. These are my vehicles, man. I created these. I could destroy every single one of these if I wanted to.
And that's the
now y'all worshiping it.
That's the history of Jake, because when you read about when Moses passed and that staff that he carried around, because when you do the history, that staff was the Lord was putting a lot of power in that staff and making all of those miracles and shit happen, and they was witnessing that. So when he died, they wanted to worship his body.
Yep.
Right, they wanted to keep his body and worship his body. That's why the Lord took that. Then they wanted to worship his staff. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter. We worship any and everything except the one who we need to be worshiping.
In the wilderness, they was worshiping golden calf.
All of that.
They worship all, like, we want to worship everything. Like the Lord, like, man, if I drop a motherfucker, they said King Solomon had a ring. So if the Lord dropped the ring down that gave you power, we start worshiping it. We'll start making images of rings. We'll start bowing down, praying to the ring. You see what I'm saying? They want to worship Mary. As
I mean, look at what's that X-Men movie?
What?
When they was fighting over those rings. That's symbolic of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was worshiping the rings.
Probably talking about the Green Lantern.
Oh, with that big ass dude with Thanos. Remember he was trying to get all 5 of the rings?
Yep.
Just using it as an example.
That's Avengers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Avengers.
Yep. He talking about he had to get the Infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity ring. Yeah. So
exactly.
yeah. They'll start worshiping that shit. You know what I mean? Niggas walking around with infinity rings and shit like that. You know what I mean? They start worshiping that shit. And the Lord like, man, bro, worship me. That's all you gotta do. You know, so the Lord ain't, man, anything he give us, so it's really our fault, man. Cause when we do get that power though, we gonna kick Esau's ass, man. They just drove by us just staring. Bro, stare the other way, man. Ain't nobody give no fuck about you, bro. Do something else. Stare the other way, man. We out here trying to teach the truth. That's it, man. We ain't worried about y'all, bro. And we ain't been worried about y'all. Get off our dick or do something. No, I'm not just gonna stare at you for 100 days or like 2-3 years straight. I'm not just gonna drive around and stare at you. If I got a problem with you, I'm gonna say something or do something. Or I'm just not gonna have, if I ain't said nothing, did something after 3 years of seeing you, I'm just not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna look the other way because I ain't did shit yet. Right. You see what I'm saying? Goddamn pussy. Got it.
Verse 38, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drink the wine of their drink offerings.
Ishmael down here with her head covered.
Yeah, I see it.
She don't want no smoke, bro.
Let them rise up and help you and be your protection. That's what the Lord said, like shit.
If you want to cover your fucking head, why not just go live in your country? Why you over here? Thirsty. Shit, Saudi Arabia probably damn near got better cities than America now.
Shit,
go to Dubai.
Give it too much. Yeah, but they don't want to be subject to multiple laws.
That Shia law, they don't want to be subject to, you can't raise your voice in public.
Exactly.
But still, why? Okay, if you want to come to America, why you gotta have your head covered? If you gonna want to follow the white man, or if you gonna have your head covered still, why you don't just go to your fucking country with your people?
That's all it
Shit
is.
crazy, man.
Shit, give it a little longer. She won't have her hair wrapped. I delivered to this place in Pennsylvania, and I seen I think she was an Ishmaelite. I'm almost positive she was an Ishmaelite lady, or and that's the first thing that came to my head. Why you ain't got your hair wrapped? And she just loving her little job, and she next to the white man.
Wanna follow Esau?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at her like.
I would have got on her ass. Like, first of all, why you ain't got your hair wrapped? Second off, why are you in America?
Yeah, like,
go back. Y'all got money over there. Y'all got a king. Y'all got different laws and shit. Y'all ain't gotta pay taxes and shit. Why the fuck y'all? Why you over here? Why you not with your people?
Babylon Jews got their ass drunk.
Thirsty. Shit thirsty, just like Issachar want to come to America so bad. You got a whole country in Mexico where all your people at. Why you want to come to America?
You see how they piling up at the border?
Yeah.
Bro, they coming from Venezuela. They coming from fucking Puerto Rico.
So
Mexico.
they come in to drink from that cup, like it says in Revelation 17. Mystery Babylon. They come in to drink from that motherfucking cup. You know?
Yeah, that shit prophecy too.
Yeah.
Verse 39. See now that even I am he. There is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Yeah, so I mean, it's just God letting you know, just like when me and the brother was explaining, you know what I'm saying, that there's the one true almighty, power. You know what I'm saying? And he gives the authority to Yahawashi. You know what I'm saying? He got holy angels and stuff that's set up on his left and his right hand side to do all of his work. You know what I mean? And Yahawashi is one of them. And he controls the rest.
Right.
You know
Israel's so thirsty to have a king, but what's the point of even having a king when he just told you there's no God beside him? We could just follow the Lord. Y'all so thirsty to jump in a group and have an elder over you, but he not God and he not beside God, even though y'all act like he is on earth. You could just follow God, man. That's all you need.
And there's no one that can deliver you out of his hand.
So it's no one that can really deliver you. You can have 1 million elders above you. If the Lord wants you dead, you're going to die.
I seen a video a while back of this lady. She was driving, and this dude was driving fast. He was in a fast car. He was driving fast, and he clipped her. And her car flipped. And she was in it. She was not hurt. She wasn't injured or nothing. But her car doors, from rolling and shit, her car doors was locked. And her car set on fire. And it was a lot of people around trying to get the windows busted. They couldn't bust the windows for some reason. The fucking door, they couldn't get the doors pried open or nothing. And she just watching her car just getting engulfed in flames. And she just, she got burnt alive. No one, I mean, it was her time to go. Was nobody there. I mean, no matter what they did, they was not able to save that lady. You know what I'm saying? Because it was her time to go. That was her destiny. Where we at? Verse 40. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy.
That's talking about with the plagues, but also literally, because those chariots, it speaks about that in 2nd Esdras, chapter 13. Those chariots are coming back, and he's gonna be putting shit to death with the chariots. You seen the movie Independence Day? Where you think they got that from? Trying to tell y'all, you got it.
It's gonna be a lot of death in this place, bro. Verse 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants and will render vengeance to his adversaries and will be merciful unto the land, unto his land and to his people. And Moses came and spake all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hoshea, the son of Nun.
Oh man, I hope these Christians. Man, I hope they come.
And Moses made an end of speaking all the words to all Israel. What is that? If you come on, if they do, that'd be lovely. Verse 46, and he said unto them, set your hearts unto all the words which I testify among you this day, which ye shall command your children to observe to do all the words of this law. For it is not a vain thing of you, for you, because it is your life. And through this thing ye shall prolong your days in the land whither ye go over Jordan to possess it.
Now, that's why I was going to say we have some Christians. They clearly some Christians because they got the suit and tie, and then the woman dressed like a Christian. And I was just going to ask them, you know.
God love everybody. That would have been my question.
That's a good one, too. But I was just going to ask them, why are you wearing a suit and tie? Because we can get down to just why you wearing a suit and tie. Then we could go to who created the suit and tie. And then I could ask you, okay, so when our people came over here in slavery on ships, were we wearing suit and ties? No, we weren't. So you wearing suit and ties because of what? You following after somebody. We wear these garments with fringes on because we following after our ancestors. The commandments that was given, that y'all say was given to Moses. Moses' commandments, right? Why are you wearing a suit and tie then? Yeah. Because you following after the man that created the suit and tie. And then I would have told them our problem with the Christian church. This is our big problem. This is my big problem with the Christian church. They don't teach our people vengeance. They teach our people all this lovey-dovey shit. They don't teach the law, right? Some of them do, right? But they don't teach our people that we should want vengeance and that we're going to get vengeance. They just say love everybody. So if you say love everybody, then you're taking away what? Our vengeance. Right. And then that's when we can go to precepts, Revelation 13, Isaiah 14. We can go to all the Isaiah 30, 34, 63. We can go to all the precepts that breaks down that our Lord is coming back to give us vengeance.
Yeah, and then just to touch on what you were saying, like why he wearing the suit and tie, and like it also goes into when you see our people trying to follow after them also as well by not wearing jewelry. They think they trying to make it like jewelry, wearing jewelry, like investing your money in jewelry is a foolish thing to do. Why? Because Esau don't do it. Because you see Esau, they worth billions of dollars. They got on these fucking Skechers and these Wrangler jeans, and they walking around in their shirt halfway buttoned up, and their hair is poking out their chest.
Man, fuck them.
You know
we
what I'm saying? You feel me?
And then,
you know what I'm saying? And so now they look at that like, man, what is we doing? Like, look, man, these some of the most billionaire people living in $20 million houses.
Kanye West, look
Jay-Z.
Look at Kanye West's clothing line.
Yeah.
He want to be like an Edomite. He want to dress down like a peasant.
That's not our culture.
And they doing that because that's in their spirit, because that's where they really come from.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even though we at the bottom, we dress like kings because that's in our spirit. That's where we really come from. As a matter of fact, we got a cousin we just talking to last night. Yesterday. And I had brung up something about wives or just women. Like, man, come out, you can some woman with us. And he was like, I'm married and this and that. And then at the end, I told him, I was like, we do multiple wives. And then I said, it's in the Bible. So your understanding of I'm married and I can't deal with no other woman or even talk to any other woman, where are you getting that understanding from? Where are you getting that from? And I had this argument with people a lot of times when they say, oh, I just can't do this. I can't do multiple wives. I say, why not? Why can't you do multiple wives? Well, I just don't feel good to me. I say, why doesn't it feel good to you? Where are you getting that feeling from? Where is it coming from? And the origins always lead back to Esau, the white man. Yeah. So you get your understanding based off the white man.
Exactly, because then they go into that whole form of marriage, that whole ceremony marriage on like how they do. They're supposed to bow down. Whereas precepts in the Bible be telling you you're not supposed. That's a sign of worshiping your woman. See, that's the stuff we was never taught. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you take that knee to your woman and you give her that. Now it's not a sin for you to buy your woman nice things. You could buy her jewelry, you could buy her rings, you could buy her earrings, necklaces. You could do all of that. But once you take that knee and you bow down, that's a sin, bro. You're not supposed to do that. You worshiping that woman, and that's what they don't teach us.
Let me get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep cooking on that. Let me get that.
Yeah, and so that's what we got to understand, that a lot of the things that we do and a lot of the stuff that we comfortable with doing, we don't understand the history behind it. Because back in the day, you know, them Edomites, they woman worship. They woman worship.
Precept. And that calls us to sin, and it calls us to go in error. And there's many precepts that speak about that. This is Proverbs 31, verse 3. Give not thy strength into woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth a king. You can break it. I gotta find it out.
Yeah, give not your strength to y'all women. Don't be bowed down to these women. Don't let the women have the control over the house. Don't let the women have the say so over the house. You know what I'm saying? Give them the order that it gives us in 1 Corinthians 11.
Yep.
That's the order we're supposed to live by. If you live in any contrary to that, then you putting a woman in a power seat over you, over your household, over your children. Now we know now, as a man, there's certain positions that we're supposed to take, and there's certain positions that a woman's supposed to take. You know what I'm saying? So that's not saying that don't let your woman rule over your kids, because if you're not in the household, then yeah, she's supposed to rule over them. You know what I'm saying? But still at the same time, she has to know her position. You got to know your position. You know what I'm saying? The kids got to know that, okay, yeah, that's mom and that's dad. Yeah, they're supposed to listen to both of us. But mom listening to dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then, like you said, with the bowing down, when you bow down to her, that's a sign of you giving your power to her. She over you because you bowing down to her. But King David, you didn't see King David bowing down to his wives, right? Yeah. His wives bowed down to the king. They weren't queens. They weren't known as queens. They were known as King David wives. They were not equal to him. You see what I'm saying? The kingdom was his, not his and theirs. It was his. They just got to be a part of it because they was wives for childbearing, right? Isaiah 3 verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. So when you bow down on that marriage, in that marriage ceremony, right, and you bow down and put that ring on her finger, that's you really, in the spirit, you really putting her over you, man, and giving her rule over you. It says, oh my people, they which lead thee, who lead us? Well, our people is following after the white man, right? And then our people that set up high, your Beyoncés, your Jay-Z, your entertainers, your LeBron James, your actors, your Will Smith, right? All these people that are called idols that our people look up to, they are following the white man while our people are following them, which lead, and it says, oh my people, they which lead thee, cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy path. And the ways of our path in the ancient days, talking about women, were multiple wives. And the woman bowed down to the man, not the man bowing down to the woman, putting a ring on her finger. King David had wives, he didn't have queens. They were known as King David wives. King David didn't bow down to all his wives. King Solomon didn't bow down to all, he had 1,000 wives combined with concubines. He didn't bow down to every single woman and put a ring on their finger. They bowed down to the king. So our people that lead us cause us to err from how the Lord set up the law. Spirit, man. So that's just what it is, you know. So, I mean, you gotta repent and come out those ways and understand that your understanding when you in the world, that comes from the white man. Where are you getting that from? And that's all set up to lead us into error, man.
Okay, let me read this precept, right? It's kind of going into it. And I'm gonna start at verse 10. It say, I clothe thee, and it's Ezekiel. It's Ezekiel 16, and it's talking about his wife. You know what I'm saying? And how he like in the kind of the stuff he did for, right? He say, I clothe thee also with broidered work, and showed thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. So we talking about the type of shit like how he had his how he was setting his wife up, right? And say, I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hand, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head.
Okay, so can we have earrings?
Yeah.
Because some people teach that
Yeah,
it's
you
a
can't
piercing.
get piercing. It's
you can't
going
have
against
earrings.
Leviticus.
Right, so we can have earrings.
It say verse 13. It say, thus wast thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou wast exceedingly beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom. So do it say anything about him bound? Now all of that stuff that he gave to her,
Yeah,
he said he gave
Israel.
he gave her rings, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Did he bow down to her?
Right, because it symbolized Israel. Israel's the wife of the Lord. But the Lord don't bow down to Israel. We got punished because we ain't follow him. Shalom, bro. That's what it is, you know. We can jump back. Just kind of detour right there, you know. You get to a certain precept, and then it goes into a certain topic. You gotta breathe, whatever. You know.
This Deuteronomy 32, verse 48. And the Lord spake unto Moses that self same day, saying, Get thee up into the mountain Abram, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. And die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people.
Right, so he said he gave the land of Canaan to Israel. How you want to follow a white man when he got the land of Canaan in his possession? Tells you that in Ezekiel 36, which is just crazy. So he not even. So it shows you he not following the Lord. Because if he was really, if white man was really following the Lord, he would have gave the land of Canaan over there in Israel. He would have gave that back to the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and Native Americans, because that's who the land belongs to.
Yeah, and just like you said, the Lord gave us that.
Yeah.
So that land, so that's not where we from. You know, a lot of people like to say that that's where we from. That's not where we from. That was given to us. You know what I'm saying? By the Lord. It was another nation of people occupying that land.
Yeah. I mean the Canaanites, but with Abraham, he got that land. You could say the children of Israel's from there, but Abraham got that land, and then he had Isaac. And then Isaac had Jacob, which name was changed to Israel. But Abraham, yeah, if you want to go back to Abraham, then Abraham and Lot, they were, you know, but they still was in that area, around that area though. So
yeah,
that's why he chose that.
They was in a continent, which is considered Africa, I guess.
Yeah, you just got to read the book of Genesis. And it tells you when Abraham got to choose the land, he chose the land of Canaan, and the Lord gave it to him.
Verse 51, because ye trespass against me among the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel, yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither unto the land which I give the children of Israel. That's what I heard.
So that's what it's all about. It's all about our Lord coming back. Christian church got to teach because they don't teach us about our Lord coming back, giving us power, saving his elect, taking us back to the land, and us setting up kingdom there. But how we going to set up kingdom if we ain't got no power to protect it? Because this tells you that the other nations going to fight. Even once the Lord come back, they still going to fight. Some of them going to give up. Some of them going to yield, and throw the white flag in. But a lot of them going to still fight to the end. They going to know that it's the Lord, but they still going to deny it because they hate to see a so-called black God coming for so-called black people.
Yeah, and that's God hardening their hearts for them to fight, because he can make them surrender. Yeah. But he want to expose his glory. He want to expose his power so the world can know who he is, and that he always was and will be, and he always exists. Because you know, it's still doubt. It's a lot of people that don't even believe that he exists. A lot of people believe in all of these theories and all of this bullshit. They don't think the Most High really exists. And so for all of those naysayers and all of them, every eye shall see.
Yep. They believe in the Anunnaki. Why you believe in the Anunnaki? Because Esau does. So our people got to really evaluate, where are you getting your thoughts and your feelings from? Where is it coming from? Where's the concept of how you think shit should be? Where is it coming from? And most of the time, it's going to come from the white man. Whether you say your grandma taught you or your grandfather taught you, keep tracing it back, and it comes from the white man. Because you ain't following the Bible. You ain't following the truth. And that's just what it is. We're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
We're going to
Give our praises to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Shalom.
Shalom.